Good morning, dear students. How are you all? Today we are going to learn a new lesson, two stories about flying. Beautiful stories are combined in this chapter. The first one is his first flight, and it is written by Liam O. Flaherty. The second part, that is a black aeroplane, is written by Frederick Fawcett. Both of these stories are very inspirational. Let us go through this. In the first part, the readers come to know about the younger bird seagull. The bird is very afraid to fly for the first time. It feels that its wings will not support while flying. The writer gives a beautiful narration of the story about how the bird overcomes this fear. Very often this happens in most of the children's life. To start something new, it is very difficult for them. Let us see how this bird, who had the difficulty to make his first flight, gets into a great flight afterward. He is the writer of the story, Liam O. Flaherty. We are beginning the story. There was a young seagull who was afraid to fly because of distrust on its wings. It had no faith that it could fly. It had no faith that its wings would support him. He was frightened. All his younger siblings could fly fearlessly despite their shorter wings. On the other hand, the younger bird could not gather the courage to trust his wings. He always became afraid when he came forward to the brink of the ledge and after attempting to fly. His mother and father came around calling him and threatening him starve on the ledge unless he flies. Despite all the upbraiding and calling to him shrilly, he could not move. Happens very often with us. For any particular event or any particular activity, someone calls us. You do this, you do that. Many of us shrink back due to our fear. Here, this bird also is doing the same. You see, unless we have trust in ourselves, make sure that we are not going to make any move. All day long, we will keep on watching just like this bird, what others will be doing around in a marvelous way. All day long, he watched his parents fly with his siblings and teaching them how to skim the waves. Many others around us will be doing miraculous things, but we will be just kept alone if we don't have the confidence within ourselves. This is a site where the siblings are playing around along with the waves in the sky, but our little seagull could only watch this one in the beginning. One day, the whole family flies to a big plateau, and on the opposite cliff, the seagull is sitting hungry. They were all trying to enjoy, but this seagull is not able to get out from its place. And it is very hungry. He begs for his mother to bring him some food. His mother picks a piece of fish and flies across to him. Maddened by hunger, he jumped at the fish with a loud shout. He falls outward and downward into the space, and he can feel his wings cutting through the air. There was no other option for him to try to lift his wings. And as he was falling, as he was frightened of death, he thought of trying with his wings once. And his wings are getting up and down and up and down. Slowly he flies. The next moment he is flying fearlessly, and his siblings soaring and diving with him. A great joy when this bird is making its first flight. The second part is Black Aeroplane. The writer narrates this story about a student who is returning back to England on a flight. The story describes the events that happen on the way and his narrow escape from death with the help of a mysterious aeroplane. He is the writer. He is explaining about a particular student. And some people say that it was he himself. We have no clear evidence for that. Frederick Fawcett, the narrator of Black Aeroplane, is a pilot who elaborates on his misjudgment and how it creates problems. In the lesson, the pilot is flying from Paris to London and dreams about the holiday with his family. He's flying over a city and thinks about the tasty breakfast after landing. After crossing Paris, he gets a look of the dark clouds, signifying the upcoming storm. For the sake of the safety, he should turn back to Paris, but he decided otherwise. To fulfill his dream of a holiday, he risked the life of passengers and heads the plane into the storm. While flying the flight, he is thinking about the holiday that he is going to enjoy after reaching home. All of a sudden, he comes across clouds which he would not be able to pass through. He is supposed to turn back, but he could not overcome the temptation of being with his family. Therefore, he gets into it, risking the life of everyone in that flight. All of a sudden, everything gets dark and all the instruments stop working. He lost control of the plane. And the hope of their survival becomes bleak. The very less amount of fuel is left. And the pilot starts panicking in the situation. He is getting now confused. The whole situation is becoming disappointing. He gets frustrated. It was all due to his senseless activity. Suddenly he sees another plane flying next to him through the storm. The pilot turns his plane to the north in order to follow that strange aeroplane. He believed that that plane came to guide him. So he just followed that black aeroplane which was in front of him. Further again, the pilot gets frightened again as the fuel is getting low. The anonymous pilot guides them out of the storm and disappears. Once they are out from that cloudy situations, the black aeroplane is not seen. After landing, the pilot asks about the other plane, but is left in shock to know that there was no other plane in the sky except his. A miraculous vision that he had while he was in agony. Let us conclude this chapter. The first part of the story teaches us that the inner strength of the person, along with confidence, is always helpful in overcoming difficult situations. While the second part teaches us that we should not risk the lives of others to fulfill our dreams. We are at the end of this chapter. I am also attaching a video clip which narrates, which films the first story. Please watch that, enjoy that, go through the grammar sections. If there is any particular part, let me know. Therefore, I can put that in the video next time. So till we meet next, bye-bye.